Welcome to Adulting Now What podcast, where we talk about love, mental health, relationships, Christianity, and everything in between adulthood.
Hello, dear adults, and welcome to season 2, episode 2. How was your weekend? How is your new week starting? Considering you'll watch this on Monday, because why not? No, I hope your weekend has been great. I hope your weekend has been filled with lots of love. I hope you've had great time with your family or just alone, because we always say for you to experience self-love, you have to start it with yourself. So you don't have to have a large group of people so as to experience self-love. Yeah. And so today I want us to talk about a very different topic, and I want us to talk about, do environment limit our moving, or does environment has the capability to limit our moving? Because lately I've been thinking, at times we may think that it's us who we are not doing anything about our life or about us moving forward, and yet it might be our environment. Like at times we may think that the way we're trying to work ABCD, we wake up early, for late for others. If you're a nocturnal person like I am, you work late, but still there are things that aren't going right. And I remember there was this time that when I was starting my career back in 2019, I'm old. When I was starting my career back in 2019, my first job, I was in an area which I want to mention, but if you know me, you know where I was at. And in that area, I always felt so stagnated. And I tell people it's an area I wouldn't love to go back to. For some reason, that place made me feel so depressed. It made me feel like I'm hating my career. It made me feel I didn't want to be in that place, in that moment, or ever. And I remember this job that I was at. It was a job that maybe most people wanted to be there, and it's a job that I miraculously got, to be honest. Because I remember I went to hospital to take my sister actually, and then I went there and dropped my papers, and a week later I was called for an interview. Yeah. And when I got this job, I was so happy, and I had my hopes high. Like you all know how it is when you're out of school, when you're getting your first pay, how excited you are, and you have these hopes high that everything will work in order, or everything will work according to how you want. Like you have this life planned out for yourself, because you're thinking, now I'm alone, now I have a job, now I'll do ABCD, now I'll be eating ABCD. No, it's about living life. And I remember that time, I think I was 21 or 22. I had so many hopes, and I was hoping that I'll just have the best moment. And now, since I was just fresh from school, or rather fresh from my attachments or internship, I felt that this is the time to exercise whatever I'm taught, and this is the time to enjoy, or rather to reap my career and to enjoy my papers. Yeah. So I got this job in this place, and for some reason, I always felt bad waking up to go to this job. Oh my God, don't remind me on days that it would rain, and then I had to go to work. At times I had to pass via bush. I know you guys will wonder where I was at. It was so crazy. But this place, I was feeling that it's not where I wanted to be in that moment. I really needed something more. Like the job was okay because I was practicing what I love, but the environment, guys, the environment sucked the S out of me. I was feeling so bad about this place, and I also believe that at times the environments that you are in, or the people that are in that environment, also influences to you feeling some type of way, because unfortunately the people that I was surrounded with, I never saw any growth in them, sorry to say, because I felt there are people who are just comfortable in their being. I'm not saying it's wrong to be comfortable, but if you have a personality like mine, personally I don't feel comfortable just being there and letting things, take the wheel. I know I'm supposed to let Jesus take the wheel, but also I have to work my wheel. I also have to try and do something. So when I was in this place, I was feeling so demotivated, And as I said before, the people around that area, they also influenced how I felt. I know someone might say that you shouldn't be looking at other people, dra, dra, dra. But you guys forget, do you know that you spend most of your hours at work than in the house? So the people that you meet in your workplace, either your clients, your customers, patients, or whoever, and your workmates, they're the people you'll be frequently seeing and interacting with. So the people you're interacting with, it's either they build you or they destroy you. And if they're building you, it's either they're building you negatively or positively. And in this area that I was in, that environment, I was feeling it's limiting me a lot, because for sure I think the issue also was I wasn't finding people of my age group or age set. And the thing is, I'm very choosy with my friends. It's not easy for me to make friends. I might have very many acquaintances, but having someone that I can confide in, or someone that you can share ideas with, it takes a lot of time and a lot of knowing each other, yeah. So, and in this area, I didn't even have friends, for one, because I felt that already in my head, I had this idea that, here you won't get friends, because guys, how will I get friends in the bush? Hmm? That there was no town, but anyway, I'm exaggerating. But to be honest, there was a bush that I was passing by when I was going to work. Yeah, and I remember every time when I was coming from work, because obviously I wouldn't be using a means of transport, because you're trying to save that little money and you just started your job. So how can I be spending money for transport to get me back home, and there's nothing I'm doing in the house? So I was opting to walk. And guys, the sun was scorching. Baby girl has suffered. I suffered. And because I was feeling that in this area it was limiting me, I didn't have time to grow. I wasn't growing. And then in my head, I had these thoughts. I had already told myself that in this area, the people that you're interacting with, they're not building you. So if I have an idea, I don't have anyone to share it with, you know. And if whatever goals I'm having, they're not hazingiani with other people's goals, yeah. And so this time, my thoughts were so powerful, and they were therefore limiting me to be me, yeah. So I was trying to fit in. I was trying to belittle myself so as I can fit in this community, so as I can fit in with the people who I'm working with, so I can fit in with the people I'm serving, yeah. That environment was sucking me because I wasn't being me. I was trying to be someone that I'm not. And all the time that I worked there, I think for probably around 8 months, I remember there's this day we weren't going for lunch breaks, yeah. Usually I don't even go for lunch breaks, even now. I barely do. I only go when it's necessary. So this day, wherever I was working, lunch breaks, we used to take a stool or a chair and bask. So this day, tell me why my shoe was torn, and that's the only day I realized. Tell me why the way I was dressed wasn't how I was dressed when I first went to that job. That particular day, I'll never forget, is the day I decided in my head, you know what, girl? This is not whom you are. You are not supposed to allow the environment to limit you. You are better than this. Stop allowing your environment to suck you up. Stop allowing your thoughts to be more powerful than whom you are. Only you can take control of your thoughts. So only you can decide and wake up today and be like, you know what, girl, I'm better than this. I'm beautiful. I'm going to dress up for me. The environment or the society doesn't dress this way, but I'm going to outstand myself. I'm going to stand in that gap and be me. I'm going to be talking these affirmations every morning, every evening. I'm going to enjoy my life. I'll stop waiting to have people who I can have these conversations with. and have this conversation with myself. That's when I remember we went for shopping with my mom, and she bought me a diary. I have that diary up to now. Because I told her I don't even have friends, I don't know how I can be sharing my thoughts. And do you know what she told me? Share your thoughts on your diary. That's when I started journaling down. If I had an idea, I started journaling it down. You know what, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do A, B, C, D. This is how I'm feeling today. This is how my day went. This is what pissed me off. This is what I'm planning to do. I decided from then, I'm not going to allow that environment to limit me. I'm not going to allow it to outshine my capabilities, because I'm better than that environment. And you know what, guys? All along, it was just my thoughts. Because right now, I have some friends from that area, and they're glowing. They look better. They look good, despite that place still looking the way it is. Although it has grown a little bit, yeah, but they're looking better. So I think the problem was me. At times, it's not even the environment. At times, the problem is you. It's the thoughts that you've allowed to overpower you so much that it makes you see, pinpoint issues, but you're not pointing back to yourself. You're just pinpointing like, oh, this is not working because I'm here. Oh, this is not working because I don't have these resources. Oh, this is not working because of ABCD. This is not working because of the friends I have, you see. And from way back, I thrive mostly alone. I'm both an introvert and extrovert. So when in my introverted side, I can thrive without friends. So I don't get why it was such a big issue for me that, oh, I don't have friends. Guys, I remember when I was walking back home. Oh, those were one of my depressing moments. Let me tell you, there's power in journaling. Because I used to go home with these overwhelming thoughts, I didn't know how to share them out. My friends were either mama kibanda, or someone who is selling something because I'll just pass by and get it. People who are selling sweets because I'll pass by and have small convos. And trust you me, those small convos used to irritate me so much. Because I was feeling that's not who I am. I'm not a person of small talks. And this small talks is because I'm trying to have a conversation with someone. I'm trying to at least make my day look better. I was waiting for people to make my day look better. I couldn't even go out by myself. I don't remember the last, during that season, when I went out by myself just to make me happy. My routine was work, home. Sundays, I clean up and bask. I never even used to talk to my neighbors because I always felt like this is not where I want to be. I was so bitter with the place. I was so bitter with myself. I was so bitter that my career wasn't taking the path that I wanted. But you know what? It was all in my head. So here's the thing, guys. Stop talking small to yourself. Start talking high of yourself. Start visualizing your goals more in that environment that you're in. Don't let the environment suffocate you, And also start celebrating yourself. I don't get why I was earning whatever I was earning, and I wouldn't even celebrate myself. There's nothing much that has changed with my routine, of work home or whatever. But right now, I do know when I'm having a bad day, I do online shopping. I know it's a bad habit, but I would rather just add to cart and not clear. That's so therapeutic for me. That's so therapeutic for me, guys. Like, I would rather shop and shop, just do online shopping. For days that I don't feel like online shopping, I'll go for window shopping, Days that I'm feeling, oh, today I'm in a good mood, I'll go for photo shoots. Like, start celebrating yourself. Only you can make yourself feel better in the environment that you're in. Don't let that environment limit you or suck you up. It's not worth it. Imagine that time I was only 21. If I allowed myself, or if I didn't get out of that environment, do you think my career will be where it's at right now? Of course not. Do you think I'll be sharing this with you even? No, I wouldn't, because I would have allowed that situation to suck me up, It's like the remaining thing that I have, the remaining light that it's in me. But the moment I found my light, I started lighting it up. I started firing it up, firing the fire that was in me, so as I can be the person that I am today. Yeah, I'm not saying that there are bad days or that right now I'm at a good place. But one thing I know, I'm at a better space, and I understand now how to control my thoughts. Not every day that is shiny. Not every day that I'm me as motivational speaker. Not every day that I'm trying to encourage myself, but at least I know what are my triggers and how to deal with my triggers. And I think that's the most important thing. For you to understand the environment that you're in, you first of all you have to check yourself and see whether it's all just in your head. At times also maybe the environment can be toxic, and when the environment gets toxic, you get yourself out of that environment before it sucks you up. Yeah. Do you know what's the worst part with being in an environment that you don't love, or in a very toxic environment? It's the fact that every morning it sucks you up. Like I remember that time I used to wake up in the morning, and it's just the thought of going to work every day, it always felt like not again, not again. And then when I reach to work, I'm like, oh my God, when will this day end? And then now let's talk about the journey back to my house. Oh God, it was so depressing. Do you know, guys, I don't understand why I was earning some okay cash, and I was living in a very not okay plot. You know, it was not even an apartment. It was one of these places that I used to wake up in the morning, the only clean bathroom, we used to fight for it. It was so weird. Like I used to wake up in the morning when the thought of warming water and putting it in the basin and going, rushing. You can see me running with my basin to take a shower. And then you find this big mbaba, he's also lining up. Oh my God, I just don't know what was wrong with that place. But let me tell you guys, that's when I realized an environment can really, I don't know, there's this thing it was doing to me. I wasn't even thinking straight. It was limiting my growth. In that house, I didn't even have the motivation to buy stuff, to expound my house or decorate my house or to do anything. No, I was just okay. I was like, I just want to go to work, come home, sleep, eat, and sleep. At times, I'm not even eating, not because you lack, but because I'm just not feeling like it. Those are the days. Those are one of my darkest days. And do you know the worst part is this is the beginning of your career, and this is the kind of environment you're in. This is the pace you're setting for your life. One thing with our thoughts are like our what do you call it? Like you're the driver of your thoughts. You either steer your life towards the positivity side or towards the negativity side. So when this negative side comes, do you gear on or do you just try to take a back seat, and you re-strategize? And until I had to take that back seat, until I learned to write down my thoughts, until I sat and decided this is not what I want. That's when I started becoming happy. I removed myself from the situation. I packed and left, and that was it. And that was the beginning of my happiness. I decided, you know what, I've tried forcing issues, but the moment I'm still forcing, like it's like I'm so compressed, I can't even breathe. The moment I decided, you know what, girl, this is the beginning of your career, this is not what you want, this is not the kind of environment you want to start your career with or on, whatever, that's when I started becoming more happier. Yeah. So today's note to self is, I will not let an environment to limit me. I won't let my thoughts to limit my growth. I'm going to be more powerful than my thoughts. I'm going to steer my thoughts towards the right direction. I'm not going to belittle myself. I'm going to learn to how to steer my thoughts towards what's right. I'm going to understand my feelings. I'm going to analyze the situation. And if it needs me to pack and leave, why not? So, dear adult, never forget life is a step and not a sprint. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it made you a better adult. I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope that the environment that you're in will bring forth your fruitfulness. It will reap, you will reap from it, and you're going to steer forward towards the right direction. Don't let the situation or the environment that you're in to limit you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this video. And if you're watching it on Spotify or Google Podcast, don't forget to rate, to share, and to be better adults. So until next time, bye.